The study of human anatomy has a long history that dates back to ancient civilizations. Early anatomical knowledge was based on observations and practical experiences, with early anatomists relying on dissection of animal corpses to understand the human body. In ancient Egypt, the practice of embalming and mummification required detailed knowledge of human anatomy. Physicians like Hippocrates 460 to 370 BC made significant contributions by documenting the structure of the body and distinguishing between various bodily systems. During the Renaissance, the dissection of cadavers became more widespread, with figures such as Andreas Vesalius 1514 to 1564 revolutionizing the field with his detailed illustrations of human anatomy. His book, De Humani Corporis Fabrica, marked a significant advancement in the understanding of the human body. With advancements in technology, modern anatomy has expanded beyond basic observation to include imaging techniques such as MRI, CT scans, and ultrasound, enabling a deeper understanding of the body's intricate systems. Levels of organization in human anatomy. Human anatomy can be understood through a structured approach, encompassing different levels of organization. Cells. The smallest unit of life, cells are the building blocks of the human body. Each cell has a specific function and contributes to the formation of tissues. For example, muscle cells contract to produce movement, while nerve cells transmit signals throughout the body. Tissues. Groups of similar cells form tissues, which work together to perform specific functions. There are four main types of tissues. Epithelial tissue. Lines body surfaces and cavities, e.g., skin, mucous membranes. Connective tissue. Provides support, binds structures together, and stores energy, e.g., bones, cartilage, adipose tissue. Muscle tissue. Facilitates movement, e.g., skeletal, smooth, cardiac muscles. Nervous tissue. Transmits signals and processes information, e.g., brain, spinal cord. Organs. Organs are formed from different types of tissues working together to perform specific functions. For instance, the heart, lungs, and liver are organs that carry out essential life-supporting processes. Organ systems. Organ systems consist of multiple organs that work together to perform complex functions. The human body is divided into several systems, including the circulatory system, digestive system, respiratory system, and musculoskeletal system, each playing a crucial role in maintaining homeostasis. Major systems of human anatomy. Skeletal system. The skeletal system consists of bones, cartilage, ligaments, and tendons. It provides structural support, protects internal organs, facilitates movement, and stores minerals like calcium and phosphorus. Major bones include the skull, spine, ribs, and limbs. Muscular system. The muscular system is responsible for movement and generates heat through muscle contraction. It includes over 600 skeletal muscles, which are divided into voluntary, e.g., biceps, quadriceps, and involuntary, e.g., heart muscle categories. Circulatory system. Comprising the heart, blood vessels, and blood. The circulatory system transports oxygen, nutrients, hormones, and waste products throughout the body. The heart pumps blood, and arteries, veins, and capillaries ensure efficient circulation. Nervous system. The nervous system controls and coordinates body activities by transmitting electrical signals. It includes the brain, spinal cord, and peripheral nerves, which process sensory input and generate responses. Respiratory system. This system facilitates gas exchange, allowing oxygen to enter the blood and carbon dioxide to be expelled. The primary organs include the lungs, trachea, and bronchial tubes. Digestive system. The digestive system breaks down food into nutrients, which are absorbed into the bloodstream. Major components include the mouth, esophagus, stomach, intestines, liver, and pancreas. Endocrine system. The endocrine system regulates body functions through hormones, which are chemical messengers secreted by glands like the thyroid, adrenal glands, and pancreas. Reproductive system. The reproductive system is responsible for producing offspring. It includes organs such as the ovaries and testes, as well as structures like the uterus and fallopian tubes in females. Anatomical terminology. To understand and describe the human body effectively, a standard set of anatomical terms is used. These terms help identify the location and function of various body parts and systems. Common anatomical terms include anterior front versus posterior back, superior above versus inferior below, medial toward the midline versus lateral away from the midline, proximal closer to the point of attachment versus distal farther from the point of attachment, superficial closer to the surface versus deep farther from the surface. Upper limb anatomy. The upper limb is a vital part of the human body that plays a significant role in various activities such as movement, manipulation, and interaction with the environment. Comprised of structures from the shoulder to the hand, the upper limb includes bones, muscles, nerves, blood vessels, and other connective tissues that work together to provide mobility, strength, and sensory input. Understanding. The anatomy of the upper limb is essential for various healthcare professionals, including orthopedic surgeons, physical therapists, and anatomists. This comprehensive exploration of upper limb anatomy covers its structural components, functional aspects, and clinical relevance. Bones of the upper limb. The upper limb consists of a series of bones that are categorized into three main regions: the shoulder girdle, the arm, and the forearm. Shoulder girdle. The shoulder girdle connects the upper limb to the trunk and consists of the following bones. Clavicle collarbone. The clavicle is a horizontally positioned bone that serves as a strut between the shoulder blade and the sternum. It helps stabilize the shoulder and provides attachment points for muscles such as the pectoralis major, trapezius, and sternocleidomastoid. Scapula shoulder blade. The scapula is a flat, triangular bone located on the posterior aspect of the rib cage. It provides attachment for numerous muscles, including the deltoid, rotator cuff muscles supraspinatus, infraspinatus, subscapularis, and teres minor, and the trapezius. The glenoid cavity serves as the socket for the humerus. Humerus. The humerus is the long bone of the upper arm and connects the shoulder to the elbow. It has three main parts. Head of humerus. Head of the rounded upper end articulates with the glenoid cavity of the scapula, forming the glenohumeral joint. Shaft. The middle portion of the humerus provides attachment sites for muscles such as the biceps brachii and triceps brachii. Distal end. At the lower end, the humerus connects with the radius and ulna at the elbow joint, forming the humerulnar and radiocapitellar articulations. Forearm bones. The forearm consists of two bones. Radius. The radius is the lateral bone of the forearm, aligning with the thumb side. It articulates proximally with the humerus at the elbow and distally with the carpal bones of the wrist. Ulna. The ulna is the medial bone of the forearm, contributing to the elbow joint and supporting movements of pronation and supination. The ulna and radius are connected by the interosseous membrane, providing stability. Joints of the upper limb. The upper limb has several joints that facilitate a wide range of movements. Glenohumeral joint. Articulation between the head of the humerus and the glenoid cavity of the scapula. Type: ball and socket joint, allowing for extensive mobility in all directions. Stability, primarily provided by muscles and ligaments, e.g., rotator cuff, glenohumeral ligaments. Elbow joint. Articulation between the humerus, radius, and ulna. Type: hinge joint, allowing for flexion and extension of the forearm. Stability, maintained by the ulnar and radial collateral ligaments. Wrist joint. Articulation between the distal radius and the carpal bones scaphoid, lunate, triquetrum. Type: condyloid joint, allowing for flexion, extension, abduction, and circumduction. Stability, supported by ligaments like the radial and ulnar collateral ligaments. Muscles of the upper limb. The muscles of the upper limb are grouped into different compartments based on their location and function. These include muscles responsible for movement of the shoulder, arm, forearm, and hand. Deltoid. The deltoid muscle covers the shoulder and is crucial for abduction, flexion, extension, and rotation of the arm. Its three heads, anterior, middle, and posterior, provide a wide range of movement. Rotator cuff muscles. Composed of four muscles: supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, and subscapularis, the rotator cuff stabilizes the shoulder joint during movements and prevents dislocation. Arm muscles. Biceps brachii. The biceps brachii is a two-headed muscle responsible for flexion of the elbow and supination of the forearm. Triceps brachii. The triceps brachii has three heads and is primarily responsible for extending the forearm at the elbow joint. Forearm muscles. Flexors. Flexor muscles, e.g., flexor carpi radialis, flexor digitorum superficialis, are responsible for wrist and finger flexion. Extensors. Extensor muscles, e.g., extensor carpi radialis, extensor digitorum, facilitate wrist and finger extension. Nerves of the upper limb. The upper limb is innervated by several key nerves that control motor movements and provide sensory input. These nerves originate from the brachial plexus, a network formed from the spinal nerve synapse through TMOT. Brachial plexus. The brachial plexus provides innervation to the upper limb. It splits into five major nerves. Musculocutaneous nerve innervates the anterior arm muscles, example, biceps brachii, and provides sensory information to the lateral forearm. Median nerve controls flexion and pronation movements in the forearm and hand and provides sensation to the palm and fingers. Ulnar nerve, involved in fine motor control of the hand, especially in movements of the little finger and ring finger, along with providing sensation to the medial hand. Radial nerve controls the extension of the arm, forearm, and hand and provides sensation to the posterior and lateral aspects of the limb. Axillary nerve innervates the deltoid and teres minor muscles and provides sensory feedback from the shoulder region. Circulation of the upper limb. The vascular supply to the upper limb is provided by key arteries and veins, ensuring a steady flow of oxygenated blood and the return of deoxygenated blood. Arteries. The subclavian artery supplies blood to the upper limb and branches into axillary artery, which becomes the brachial artery after passing the axilla. The brachial artery then splits into the radial artery lateral and ulnar artery medial in the forearm. Veins. The major veins include the basilic vein, cephalic vein, and axillary vein, which return blood to the heart. Lower limb anatomy. The lower limb plays a fundamental role in supporting the human body, facilitating locomotion, balance, and interaction with the environment. Comprising bones, muscles, nerves, blood vessels, and connective tissues, the lower limb is responsible for a variety of complex movements such as walking, running, climbing, and maintaining stability. Understanding its anatomy is essential for healthcare professionals, including orthopedic surgeons, physical therapists, and clinicians, to diagnose and treat a wide range of conditions affecting this region. Bones of the lower limb. The lower limb is subdivided into three main sections: the hip region, pelvis, thigh, and leg. Each section contains distinct bones that contribute to its overall structure and functionality. Hip and pelvis bones. Pelvis. The pelvis is a basin-shaped structure formed by the fusion of the sacrum and the two hip bones ilium, ischium, and pubis. It serves as a connection point between the lower limbs and the axial skeleton. The pelvis provides attachment for muscles that control the movement of the lower limb and forms the acetabulum, a socket for the femoral head. Ilium. The ilium is the largest of the three hip bones and forms the superior part of the pelvis. It serves as an attachment point for muscles such as the iliopsoas, gluteal muscles, and other abdominal muscles. Ischium. The ischium is the inferior and posterior part of the hip bone. It provides attachment for muscles, such as the hamstrings, and is also important for weight bearing when seated. Pubis. The pubis forms the anterior portion of the hip bone and plays a crucial role in maintaining the stability of the pelvis. It provides attachment for muscles that flex the thigh, such as the adductor muscles. Femur. The femur is the longest and strongest bone in the body, extending from the hip joint to the knee. Head of femur. The rounded head articulates with the acetabulum of the pelvis to form the hip joint. Surrounding muscles and ligaments provide stability and enable a wide range of movements such as flexion, extension, abduction, and rotation. Shaft. The shaft of the femur serves as an attachment site for various muscles that control hip and knee movements, including the quadriceps and hamstrings. Distal end. The distal end of the femur forms the knee joint by articulating with the tibia and patella. It contains structures such as the medial and lateral condyles and epicondyles, which provide attachment points for muscles. And ligaments. Tibia and fibula. The tibia and fibula form the lower leg and are connected by the interosseous membrane. Tibia. The tibia is the larger and medial bone of the leg, playing a critical role in weight bearing. It articulates proximally with the femur at the knee joint and distally with the talus at the ankle joint. Fibula. The fibula lies lateral to the tibia and provides attachment for muscles that control ankle and foot movements. Although it does not contribute significantly to weight bearing, it stabilizes the lower leg. Joints of the lower limb. The lower limb contains several major joints that enable mobility and provide stability for the body during various movements. Hip joint. Articulation between the femoral head and the acetabulum of the pelvis. Type. Ball and socket joint, allowing for flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, and rotation. Stability. Maintained by muscles such as the gluteus maximus, iliopsoas, and deep ligamentous structures iliofemoral ligament, pubofemoral ligament. Knee joint. Articulation between the femur, tibia, and patella. Type. Modified hinge joint, allowing for flexion, extension, and limited rotation. Stability. Enhanced by ligaments anterior and posterior cruciate ligaments, medial and lateral collateral ligaments, menisci, and surrounding muscles quadriceps and hamstrings. Ankle joint. Articulation between the tibia, fibula, and talus. Type. Hinge joint, facilitating dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. Stability. Provided by ligaments such as the deltoid ligament and a lateral ligament complex. Muscles of the lower limb. The muscles of the lower limb are classified into compartments based on their location and function. These include muscles responsible for movements at the hip, thigh, knee, leg, ankle, and foot. Gluteal muscles. Gluteus maximus. The largest muscle in the body, responsible for extending, rotating, and abducting the thigh at the hip joint. Gluteus medius. Primarily functions to abduct and medially rotate the thigh, helping stabilize the pelvis during gait. Gluteus minimus. Works alongside the gluteus medius to abduct and medially rotate the thigh. Quadriceps femoris. Composed of four heads: rectus femoris, vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, vastus intermedius. These muscles extend the knee joint and contribute to movements such as walking, running, and jumping. Hamstrings. The hamstrings group biceps femoris, semitendinosus, semimembranosus is responsible for flexing the knee joint and extending the hip joint. Leg muscles. Anterior compartment. Includes muscles like the tibialis anterior, extensor hallucis longus, and extensor digitorum longus, responsible for dorsiflexion of the ankle and extension of the toes. Posterior compartment. The posterior compartment includes muscles such as the soleus, gastrocnemius, and flexor hallucis longus, which are responsible for plantar flexion and flexion of the toes. Nerves of the lower limb. The lower limb is innervated by the lumbosacral plexus, which originates from the spinal nerves LMT through SBN. These nerves provide motor control and sensory feedback to various regions of the lower limb. Sciatic nerve. The largest nerve in the body originating from LBN to SBA, it innervates the posterior thigh muscles, hamstrings, and branches into the tibial and common fibular nerves. Femoral nerve. Arising from L-high to LBN, the femoral nerve innervates the anterior thigh muscles quadriceps, contributing to knee extension and hip flexion. Obturator nerve. Originates from L-high to LBN and innervates the medial thigh muscles, facilitating hip abduction. Other nerves. The gluteal nerve, saphenous nerve, and peroneal nerves contribute to the sensory and motor control of various muscles and regions of the lower limb. Circulation of the lower limb. The vascular supply to the lower limb is provided by the external iliac artery, which becomes the femoral artery after passing the inguinal ligament. This artery branches into the profunda femoris artery, supplying the deep thigh muscles. Below the knee, the femoral artery continues as the popliteal artery, which gives rise to the anterior and posterior tibial arteries responsible for providing blood supply to the lower leg and foot. Thorax anatomy. The thorax, also known as the chest region, is a complex anatomical structure that serves a critical role in protecting vital organs, facilitating respiration, and supporting movement. It includes the bony framework of the ribs, sternum, thoracic vertebrae, and associated muscles and tissues. The thorax contains essential structures such as the heart, lungs, and major blood vessels, making its anatomy crucial for understanding respiratory, circulatory, and muscular functions. Additionally, it provides attachment points for various muscles involved in movement and posture. Bones of the thorax. The thoracic cavity is enclosed by a robust bony framework composed of the sternum, ribs, and thoracic vertebrae. Sternum. The sternum, also known as the breastbone, is a flat, elongated bone located in the center of the chest. It is divided into 3 main sections. Manubrium. The superior segment of the sternum, articulating with the clavicles, collarbones, and the first and second ribs. It serves as a critical attachment point for muscles and ligaments. Body of the sternum. The middle and largest portion, which provides attachment for the costal cartilages of ribs BA through bay. The body helps in forming the anterior wall of the thorax. Xiphoid process. The smallest and inferior portion of the sternum, primarily serving as an attachment point for muscles, particularly those associated with the diaphragm. Ribs. The thorax consists of 12 pairs of ribs that form a protective cage around vital thoracic organs. True ribs, 1st to 7th ribs. These ribs are directly attached to the sternum via costal cartilages, providing stability and protection to the thoracic cavity. False ribs, 8th to 10th ribs. These ribs do not have a direct attachment to the sternum, but are connected to the cartilage of the rib just above them. Floating ribs, 11-12. The floating ribs are free at their anterior ends and provide limited attachment to muscles and ligaments, primarily for muscular attachment and protection. Thoracic vertebrae. The thoracic vertebrae T1, TMO, T2 provide structural support to the thoracic region, articulating with the ribs and allowing movement. These vertebrae feature distinct costal facets for rib articulation, along with spinous and transverse processes for muscle attachment. Thoracic cavity and organs. The thoracic cavity houses vital structures, including the lungs, heart, and major blood vessels. Lungs. The lungs occupy the majority of the thoracic cavity and are protected by the pleural membranes and ribs. Each lung is divided into lobes. Right lung. Composed of 3 lobes, the superior, middle, and inferior lobes. The right lung accommodates the heart and mediastinal structures and is larger due to the positioning of the heart toward the left side of the chest. Left lung. Composed of 2 lobes, the superior and inferior lobes. The left lung is smaller to provide space for the heart, which lies more medially. Heart. The heart is a muscular organ located in the mediastinum, slightly left of the center of the thoracic cavity. It is encased by a protective sac known as the pericardium and is divided into 4 chambers, 2 atria and 2 ventricles. The heart is responsible for pumping blood throughout the body via the circulatory system. Muscles of the thorax. The thorax is equipped with several muscles that contribute to respiration, movement, and stabilization of the thoracic structure. Intercostal muscles. External intercostal muscles. These muscles lie superficially and run in a downward and forward direction. They elevate the ribs during inhalation. External intercostal muscles. These muscles lie superficially and run in a downward and forward direction. They elevate the ribs during inhalation. Internal intercostal muscles. Positioned beneath the external intercostals, these muscles run in a downward and backward direction. They are primarily involved in forced exhalation by depressing the ribs. Innermost intercostal muscles. Similar to internal intercostals, but located more deeply. They assist with rib depression and are crucial for respiration. Diaphragm. The diaphragm is a large, dome-shaped muscle located at the base of the thoracic cavity. It plays a critical role in respiration by contracting and flattening to increase thoracic volume during inspiration, while relaxing during expiration. Vascular supply and nerves of the thorax. The thorax is supplied with oxygenated blood by major arteries and drained by corresponding veins. Additionally, it is innervated by various spinal nerves and autonomic structures. Arterial supply. Aorta. The thoracic aorta branches off into intercostal arteries that supply blood to the chest wall and organs within the thoracic cavity. Pulmonary arteries. Carry deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs for oxygenation. Venous drainage. The superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, and azygous veins drain blood from the thorax into the heart. Abdomen anatomy. The abdomen is a vital anatomical region that plays a crucial role in protecting and housing essential organs involved in digestion, excretion, and reproduction. It extends from the diaphragm superiorly to the pelvis inferiorly, and laterally, it is bound by the abdominal muscles and lumbar vertebrae. The complex structure of the abdomen includes muscles, bones, blood vessels, nerves, and a variety of organs that work together to maintain homeostasis and support the BODUS functions. Anatomical regions and layers. The abdomen is anatomically divided into 9 regions or 4 quadrants, each providing a framework for locating internal organs and structures. Regions of the abdomen. Right hypochondriac region. Located superiorly on the right side, containing the liver, right lobe, gallbladder, and parts of the right kidney. Epigastric region. Central region above the umbilicus, housing parts of the stomach, pancreas, liver, and adrenal glands. Left hypochondriac region. The left superior region includes portions of the stomach, spleen, pancreas, and left kidney. Right lumbar region. The lateral region right of the umbilicus, containing parts of the liver, ascending colon, and right kidney. Right lumbar region. The lateral region right of the umbilicus, containing parts of the liver, ascending colon, and right kidney. Umbilical region. Central region around the navel, encompassing portions of the intestines, ureters, and mesenteric blood vessels. Left lumbar region. The left lateral region containing the descending colon, left kidney, and pancreas. Right inguinal iliac region. Lower right section, including portions of the appendix, cecum, and ileum. Hypogastric region. Inferior central region, housing the bladder, reproductive organs, and sigmoid colon. Left inguinal iliac region. The lower left region, containing parts of the sigmoid colon, descending colon, and left ovary in females. Abdominal layers. The abdomen consists of multiple layers that protect its internal organs, ranging from superficial structures to deep anatomical features. Skin. The outermost covering of the abdomen, providing protection and a barrier against external forces and infections. Subcutaneous fat and fascia. Beneath the skin lies subcutaneous fat, which helps cushion organs and maintain body temperature, and the superficial fascia, which provides attachment points for muscles and blood vessels. Muscles. The muscular layer includes the external oblique, internal oblique, transversus abdominis, and rectus abdominis muscles. These muscles are crucial for movement, respiration, and maintaining intra-abdominal pressure. Peritoneum. The peritoneum is a serous membrane lining the abdominal cavity, providing a protective layer for most abdominal organs and enabling smooth movement during digestion. Organs of the abdomen. The abdomen houses several vital organs, divided into digestive, excretory, and reproductive systems. Digestive organs. Stomach. Located in the epigastric region, the stomach is responsible for breaking down food through mechanical and chemical digestion. Small intestine. Comprised of the duodenum, jejunum, and ileum, the small intestine is where the majority of nutrient absorption takes place. Large intestine. Extending from the ileum, the large intestine absorbs water and forms feces. It consists of the cecum, colon, rectum, and anal canal. Liver and pancreas. Liver. The largest gland in the body, located in the right upper quadrant, plays a crucial role in metabolism, detoxification, and bile production. Pancreas. Situated posteriorly to the stomach, the pancreas functions in both endocrine insulin production and exocrine digestive enzyme secretion capacities. Kidneys and ureters. Kidneys. Paired, bean-shaped organs located on either side of the abdomen, responsible for filtering waste product from the blood, producing urine, and regulating electrolytes and blood pressure. Ureters. These narrow tubes transport urine from the kidneys to the bladder, passing through the abdominal cavity. Muscles of the abdomen. The abdominal muscles provide support for the abdominal cavity, help maintain posture, and contribute to movements such as flexion, rotation, and lateral bending. Rectus abdominis. Commonly referred to as the six-pack, the rectus abdominis runs vertically along the midline of the abdomen and is responsible for flexing the trunk and supporting abdominal compression. Oblique muscles. External oblique. Found on the outer layer, this muscle assists in lateral flexion and rotation of the trunk. Internal oblique. Lies beneath the external oblique, contributing to flexion, rotation, and stabilization. Transversus abdominis. The deepest layer, aiding in core stability and maintaining intra-abdominal pressure. Nerves and vascular supply. The abdominal region is supplied by various arteries and innervated by specific nerves that regulate motor and sensory functions. Abdominal aorta. The main artery supplying the abdomen, giving rise to branches like the celiac trunk, superior mesenteric artery, inferior mesenteric artery, and renal arteries, which supply different regions of the abdomen. Venous drainage. Blood from the abdomen is drained by veins, such as the inferior vena cava, hepatic portal vein, and splenic vein, which transport deoxygenated blood back to the heart. Nervous supply. Spinal nerves. T-nom to L-high spinal nerve provide motor and sensory innervation to the abdominal muscles and skin, as well as regulating internal organ functions. Ready for more mind-expanding lessons, interactive quizzes, and hands-on courses? Head over to brainyjuice.com. Your passport to a world of knowledge. Whether you're diving into engineering, exploring computer science, or delving into medical and biological sciences, Brainy Juice is the one-stop destination for curious minds. From mechanical and civil engineering to zoology and botany. From rocket science to terraforming planets. From ancient civilizations to modern history. From astronomy to full-scale physics. We've curated courses that cater to every passion and every goal. Each course is carefully designed by experts, packed with engaging lessons, real-world examples, and interactive quizzes. Push your limits by exploring over hundreds of topics. We're constantly expanding, so your thirst for learning never goes unquenched. Our platform is simple. Log in, pick a subject, and dive in. Go beyond the ordinary. Challenge yourself, master new skills, and fuel your curiosity with Brainy Juice. It's time to expand your horizons, because knowledge is the spark that ignites success. We'll see you in the next one.